Mr. Everything here. We are continuing with the study of the air brake system for the Z endorsement knowledge test. This is part 5. There is a problem if your cut in and cut out times do not match the manufacturer's set numbers or specs. No vehicle's air compressor should cut out above 145 psi, and no vehicle's air compressor should cut in below 80 psi. The test to do is to secure the vehicle and release the spring brake. Now, after you've secured the vehicle and released the spring brakes, observe the primary and secondary tanks. Run the engine to observe the cut in and run the engine to observe the cut out pressure. Sorry, let me start that again. Run the engine to observe the cut out pressure. Press and release the brakes and observe the cut in pressure. To test the system's air loss rate, secure the vehicle with chocks. Release the spring brakes. Shut off the engine at the normal running range, usually about 100. Press and hold the brake pedal fully. The initial air loss is not to be taken into account. Note the pressure in the tanks while holding your foot firmly on the brake. Wait 1 full minute. The manufacturer has a maximum air loss recorded in the manual. Now, usually a straight truck is 3 psi loss in 1 minute. A tractor and trailer is 4 psi loss in 1 minute. There is a protection valve to protect a towing vehicle from air loss in a trailer. Make sure air is at its normal operating pressure. Make sure the tractor protection valve is pulled out or closed. Disconnect the service glad hand, usually blue, and it's connected to the trailer. Do not use a dead end coupler in this test. Observe the open lines. That would be the service line, with the brake pedal pressed and held. If there is no anti-compounding valve, secure the vehicle with chocks and release the spring brakes. Air should not expel from the open service line glad hand. You must test the automatic application of the spring brake system on the trailer. Trailer spring brakes should always be engaged when a trailer is not connected to a towing vehicle. To test the trailer spring brakes while connected to a towing vehicle, do the following steps. You must test the automatic application of the spring brake system on the trailer. Trailer spring brakes should always be engaged when a trailer is not connected to the towing vehicle. To test the trailer spring brakes while connected to the towing vehicle, we will do the following steps. Push in the trailer supply valve to fully charge the air in the trailer's air brake systems. Make sure that the air is normal. or in the normal operating range, which is usually about 100. A, a, then pull out the trailer supply valve and close it. Then pull out the trailers. Then do a tug test. It can be done to verify the trailer. The tug test with the trailer brakes applied will let you know if the brakes are working on the trailer. Disconnecting the trailer supply line should have some effect, but it is not the preferred method to check that the spring brakes apply. The trailer fails if the spring brakes do not apply. Test the spring brakes of the towing vehicle, which is also the parking and emergency system. Apply the spring brakes on a towing vehicle. Make sure not to use the wheel chocks. Gently apply engine power. The tug test, it's called. There can be some movement or rocking, but it should not be significant, and the vehicle should remain still. Testing the towing vehicle may not always work with a trailer attached. Air tanks must be drained daily from the wet tank. You drain the wet tank first, and then you can drain the primary or secondary tank second, and the third tank third. But never drain the primary or secondary tanks first. Most, if not all, moisture should come out of the supply or wet tank first. Primary and secondary tanks should never have much moisture, if any. The wet tank may discharge some oil or moisture, but the primary and secondary tanks should never have especially any oil. If there's any oil in the primary or secondary tanks, the system is defective. Draining valves must always be fully functional. If the wet tank shows an unusual or anything unusual or periodic extra amounts of oil and moisture, it should be reported. Drivers must know where the tanks are and what they are. The step-by-step draining is at normal pressure. Drain the wet tank first, drain the next tanks. Watch the discharge of each tank.